What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host and captain and dad, Garrett Morlang, and here in the virtual studio with me is the King of Golf, aka Mario Kart Daddy, aka the VR MVP, aka the homeboy, Adrian Holmes.
Welcome,
Adrian.
What's going on?
How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Didn't think I was gonna make it today, but here I am.
Yeah, we got that scary text a little earlier that's saying, "Hey guys, I think I'm out. Work's going a little late, but here you are. It's a pleasant surprise. So thanks for making it work for us.
Just for you.
And also joining us here in the virtual studio is the one, the only, JJ Purdom.
Hello, boys. Hey, and I love the fact that Garrett, you looked at the copy to make sure you said your name right. I noticed you doing that right now. I'm your host and captain, Garrett Morlang. I love that. Love it to death. It proves your geniusness.
I mean, it'd be terrible if I said the wrong name. What if I introduced myself with the wrong name? I've done it before.
It has happened before.
Again.
And I love that Adrian right now, when he was going through the AKAs, like he went for like another one. He's like, maybe there's another one. And then you didn't.
Oh, there was
one.
He forgot one. And it's originated from that box sitting right behind you.
Oh, yes, I forgot. Okay, let me add it right now to the notes.
Get back to it. Actually, retake.
It was just the Porter, is that right?
Yep.
Okay, the King of Golf, a.k.a. Mario Kart Daddy, a.k.a. the VR MVP, a.k.a. the Homeboy, a.k.a. the Porter, Adrian Holmes. I feel there's a different, better than, like, what is it? What's the highest rating in Destiny? Is it like Spectacular? The Spectacular Porter? Should I even call you that?
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah, AKA the heart of the show. Adrian
Did you just give me like a new gamer tag? Is that like
the Spectacular Porter?
The Spectacular Porter?
Do it.
Will that fit? Let me see. SPECTACULAR. That's 10. PORTE. Oh, that's 16.
You spelled just like how I count, Adrian. I love that.
Oh man, this is a
nobody take that.
Here. Nobody take that. Yeah. TM.
We're talking to you, Kojima.
This is completely unrelated to the show, but I'm going to talk about it here because it just happened and it's totally bizarre. But freaking Skyline in the chat just gifted 5 subs.
Yo!
And what a great way to kind of segue into, hey guys, it's September. I know we always talk about our Patreon, but
subs.
Come over to Twitch. We stream. We've been trying to stream a lot more here on Twitch, twitch.tv/the Super Gamer Boys. You can watch us, and we have a goal. We're trying to get to 50 new subs by the end of the month. Let me see what we're up to right now. We are up to 11 new subs. So we're 22% of the way, according to the bar on the screen.
Rolling, baby.
So if you listen to our podcast, audio or YouTuber, you could technically watch us record it live on Twitch, and you can watch us play games. You know, I've been playing through the Metal Gear Solid series. JJ's talking about maybe starting to stream more. Adrian is, I don't know what he's doing.
I told you to tell me when you had a strict day, and I was going to alternate with you, remember?
Yeah, that is true. I dropped the ball there. But yeah, if you want to be awesome like Skyline, come follow us. It's free to follow. And then because of September right now, all subscriptions on Twitch are 20% off. So it's discounted rate. And we get the full amount though. We still get the full amount we normally would. Twitch only gets a little cut. And we're also still counting free Amazon Prime subs. So if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, which means it doesn't cost you anything. It's completely free, and we still make, again, full price. So I know normally we don't do an ad like that at the beginning, but it's a special occasion. It's September, guys.
Absolutely.
So, and
even if we don't hit 50, the fact that we even got this many is incredible. I'm good right here.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Skyline, for that, Selkies. I'll always know you as Selkies. So cool. Let's get back to the show. We got all distracted there. How you guys doing? It's been a week since we've seen each other. Mm-hmm. Everyone doing good. Everyone healthy, happy, live, laugh, love.
For the most part, work's been a little crazy. Yeah. Had to miss an episode because of it, but here we are. Hopefully, that last one was the last one. So we'll see.
Wait, you missed last one? No, you were on last week, weren't you?
No, week before last when we didn't do an episode.
Ah, you're right. We didn't do it. Yeah, I remember that.
And we came back in firing up last week.
Yeah, we did.
The three of us.
Yeah,
and
we
then
did, baby.
Fire.
I heard that our Discord, if you guys haven't followed us on Discord, we've got an awesome Discord. Recently, it somehow became not safe for work. I don't know how the heck that
boy.
happened.
Oh boy.
So yeah, if you guys go and check us out on Discord, the commentaries there have been phenomenal. We love, like, everybody has been joining in. And apparently Garrett has just finally pushed stuff over the top and gotten a little risque.
So with the recent news that OnlyFans is getting rid of the more
No, they didn't. They reversed that, didn't they?
Did they reverse?
They did
Okay.
reverse it.
Well, I didn't get that news, so my thought
Well-
was like, hey, you know what? Like, let's start.
but
let's
you
start
already-
pushing over
you-
Discord. Let's do a
You
private
already let the
Discord
genie
channel.
out of the bottle now. It's too late.
Yeah, we were rolling with his new OnlyFans. We're trying to get that thing going, and we were gonna start putting out a little bit of different content, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink.
That's an
We're gonna
all-new
try-
Patreon tier.
There you go. Hey, how much do you guys like the dad of the show? Huh? You guys into dad stuff?
If you
Well,
get
hey,
us to
that's-
69 subs,
you dang right. Look at
Just
that,
saying.
Gary's NSFF. No,
NSFW.
NSFW. Not safe
Whatever
for
it is.
work. I'm not really sure how acronyms work, but
Yeah, it's too hard. But yeah, that was so funny. It was Kojima who found it. He's like, guys, why is the mailbag NSFW? And I was like,
Don't
what are
worry
you
about it,
talking
Kojima.
I have no idea. He was like scared to go into it.
So here's the crazy thing. Like, you posted on there, I found the culprit, and it was somehow me. And here's
Yeah.
the deal. Keep in mind, I don't know what the hell I'm doing on the computer. I have no idea what button I clicked to make it NSFW. Like, I really don't. And like, I'm like, how did I do that? Like, maybe there's a bug, or I've got like some kind of scammer who like infiltrated, or I just like Looney Tunes goofy fingered it. And that's
Man,
more
it's so
likely.
funny. Yeah, when I looked in the audit log and I saw your name and it said JJ marked the mailbag as NSFW, I'm like, oh, okay, well that answers that question.
and then you ask him, he's like, "Ooh, I don't know
Yeah.
how that got
Did
in
I
there."
do that?
Right? But didn't it for one day create some really amazing conversations, and people
It was
were
good.
laughing pretty good about
It
that,
was
you
good.
know.
It was good.
And then I just played it
yeah.
up like, no, I meant to do that.
No,
I did
see,
that
this
on
is
purpose.
viral marketing for the real life podcast that we're gonna do when we hit the 100 subs
Yeah,
on Patreon.
Yeah, if we got $100 a month there on Patreon through our supporters, then yeah, we're gonna get that bonus show going. So
That's where that comes in.
100%. Yeah, that was fantastic. So thanks for making our weekend a little more exciting, JJ. That was fun. Great. Well, today we're going to be talking about, on this fine show this evening, Horizon Forbidden West upgrade debacle. It's a whole mess. It's a whole mess. We'll go
Big
over
Jim
it. We'll go
Ryan
over it.
at it again.
Yeah. The coolest games from the PlayStation Showcase. That's right. There was a PlayStation Showcase last week. We didn't even talk about it. I don't even think we mentioned it last episode that it was happening, but it happened, and we have some cool stuff to share about it. And Hideo Kojima's new idea for a video game, which you all know I'm stoked about. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producer, Toby Dalton. Shout out to Toby. Toby's been a little sick the last couple weeks, so here's a little shout out to Toby. I hope you feel better soon.
Man. Rebound.
And also our super gamer sponsors, Bill Bird, Julie Bates, Brent Fox, Daniel James, and Mama Mare. We appreciate all of you. You are fantastic. Thank you so much. If you want to be awesome like them and get your name read on the show, be our boss like Toby is, or again, help us hit that $100 goal, $100 a month. And then, we give you guys another show. We're already bringing you 2 podcasts now. We have the Super Gamer Boys. We have Super Gamer Book Club, which is now free, just late, for free. You get one episode from 2 months ago. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
But if we hit the $100 mark, you get a third show. You could get, what was the name we came up with? Super
Later Boys.
Super Later Boys. There you go. That's a fantastic name. Kind of like on our IRL podcast where we just tell goofy stories, pick a topic, whatever it might be. So support us
That
over
ain't
there,
your
Patreon.
daddy's podcast.
Intro Daddy's podcast.
Oh, it's gonna
Patreon.
get dirty. It's
Yeah.
gonna get NSFW for sure.
Is it going to be our first do I have to mark explicit on iTunes? Because I don't
Yeah,
hear
you're
any
gonna
of our
have
other
to.
shows.
We've
gonna-
actually
Oh,
had
no.
we've actually had one that was marked explicit before.
That is true. That is true. Patreon.com/SuperGamerBoys. And like I mentioned, if you want our Super Gamer Book Club, when it actually comes out, you can support us over there and get that. This month episode was Hades with Nate Fletcher, aka Boba Fletch over on Twitch. And then next month is Little Nightmares. And we didn't reveal who the other guest is. We talked about it's you and me and JJ, but who's our actual guest that we're having?
So our guest for Little Nightmares, aka Spooky Month episode, is twitch.tv/Ray the Rat. That's right. Ray herself is gonna be the guest on this month's episode of Book Club. And this was a big one. Ray is she's a big dog, bro. She's got a lot of people. She's got a lot of fans. So I was really surprised that she said yeah, but she was game and she's excited about it. So
That's
I'm looking
awesome.
forward to it too.
Don't screw this up, Adrian. You better
Why-
have this show
hey,
straight.
why do you just
Better-
automatically say JJ?
I love how I just don't
Like,
screw this up,
it's
JJ.
It's so
Like, I just-
easy.
I was
It
like,
just
that's-
it easily rolls off of your tongue,
That's,
dude. Like,
that's just normally the name that comes out when I say that previous sentence. Don't screw this up.
that really hurts.
It's like
Garrett.
if you went on my phone, on my iPhone, it has like the auto predict text. Like if I typed
It
in,
just says
"Don't
JJ
screw
every time."
Don't screw this up and just let it autofill. It'd be JJ. Like that's how my mind works too.
I'll take
But
it. I'll take
nah,
it.
man, I'm looking forward to it. You guys should be looking forward to it. It's gonna be an awesome one.
And we're doing
Ray's
both
a heavy
Little
hitter.
Nightmares,
This is a good get.
Little Nightmares 1 and 2, correct?
1 and 2.
Okay, I finished the first one, and I'm like halfway through the second one. These games are nuts. It's been fun. Actually, funny story. I had never played Little Nightmares before, but I forget. It was like a couple years ago. I had a friend who asked, like, "Hey, I have a kid, and they're a younger kid who plays games. Do you know of any fun games that they could play?" And me never have played Little Nightmares, but just saw like little pictures here and there and stuff. In my head, I was like, "Oh, it's just kind of like it's not really scary. It's just like it's a kids game. You know, it's made for kids. It's like a scary game for kids because it's not really scary." And then playing through it, I'm like, "Oh no, what did I do? Like, what have I done?" Like, all I could think of is like, I'm glad I don't remember who it is because anytime I went around him again, I'd be so embarrassed. Like, "Hey, remember that one time I suggested your kid play Little Nightmares? I'm really sorry." I would just feel bad because let me tell you, not a kid's game. There's some like deep, dark stuff that happens in that game. Crazy stuff. Yeah. Sorry if you listen to the show and I suggested you let your young child play Little Nightmares. I am very sorry. All right.
Garrett,
We'll
wait.
talk more about our page. Oh,
Breaking
okay.
news. Breaking news.
Yes. Breaking news.
I've got an announcement.
Okay.
I'm working on a little independent thing right now. I'm doing a feature. You know how we're the group and then one of us goes off on something and it counts as like a feature on a song? This is it. So, one of our previous guests, I should say, for book club, Mr.
Our
Eddie Martin.
ex-guest.
Whatever you want to call it. Eddie Norm Martin put me in contact with certain members of a podcast that's called Video Games, a Comedy Show. And they are doing, they're starting a new series within their podcast that's going to be covering The Legend of Zelda from front to back. And they asked me to be on a couple of their episodes to talk about the DS games. So I'm going to be talking about Phantom Hourglass, and I'm going to be talking about Spirit Tracks.
Nice.
And so
okay.
that's going to be out pretty soon. So we just confirmed it today. We've been going back and forth about it. But that's what I'm going to be, working on. So you can find me there. Yeah, they asked me to be a guest. So
Legit.
cool.
yeah.
Cool. So what's the name of that one more time?
Video Games, a Comedy Show.
Nice. And you can find that on YouTube and podcast services or just podcast services?
Yep, that's all you got to search and it'll come up.
All right, we'll
Sweet.
make sure to promote that. But look at that, Adrian carrying the old Super Gamer Boys banner out in the world. It's like you're all grown up now. Loving
All
it.
grown up. Love to see it. You love to see it. All right. Well, that's all for the, what do they call that? The I don't say the run of show, but that's not called. No, there's a word for it. There's a housekeeping. That's it for housekeeping. That's it for housekeeping. Now let's check the mailbag.
Garrett, I got to be honest with you. I don't got one this week. I didn't think I was going to be here. I look, the fact that I'm here is a miracle. I don't have a mailbag. I don't have an Indie Boys. I don't have nothing for you this week except my big, beautiful face. So,
hey, you know what? And
it's pretty beautiful.
It's pretty beautiful. It's pretty beautiful.
Thank you, fellas. I appreciate it.
I think actually the correct answer was the mailbag was inside us the whole time. So,
look at that! Look at you with a good bit.
Wow. So
okay, Garrett.
Yes.
No. I was just saying, okay, Garrett. Good.
Okay. I thought you said, hey, Garrett. I thought you said, hey, Garrett. I thought there was more, like you were about to dish some more, like,
no.
wisdom or something for me.
I'm giving you your props. That was a good bit.
Thank you. So after some deep introspect, the bit doesn't work if you can't talk good. I thought a lot right now. I was just thinking. I was in my head. Here we go. This first question comes from Sweats. He writes, I don't know what this is. Listen to this and then tell me if this is a question or not. I am submitting this now because I had it in my mind, but I didn't want to throw 2 into 1 week, which is funny that he did this because he still threw 2 into 1 week. But he went on to say...
Well, he said he didn't want to. He didn't say he wasn't going to.
Okay, that's true. Shadowrun on the 360 was terrible on crossplay, but such a good game. It had a solid base of players at the time and even gave an achievement for teabagging. Why did it fail? I think it is probably my favorite FPS multiplayer. The maps were perfect, the abilities and CS buy system I felt fit well, but it just didn't keep the popularity. Did Vista F it up? Was it the fact that people wanted a new Shadowrun RPG and they got this FPS? I just don't know why it didn't keep going. I would love a remaster or just a sequel.
So was this the one that everybody was so hype about because it was like one of the first ones where you could play between what was it, Xbox and PC? Wasn't this like one of the first ones to do that?
I'm gonna be honest. I thought I knew what Shadowrun is, and then I Googled it and looked at the cover art. I'm like, no, I've never heard of this game in my life. So that's.
I feel like I remember that though.
So that's my answer why it didn't get a sequel or a remaster is because
who knows what it is.
I don't think it's as big as you thought it was, Sweats, because I've never heard of it. If I've never heard of it, it didn't exist. So
I don't know exactly if that is the game I'm thinking of, but I remember there being a big deal about it around that era where it's like, oh, console people could play with PC people and it'll run seamlessly.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly I read the name. I'm like, oh yeah, I know Shadowrun. And then I looked it up. I'm like, no, I guess I didn't. That's not what I was thinking. So yeah, I don't know anything about this game. So Andy, you didn't really ask a question, but other than why I didn't get a remaster or sequel, yeah, obviously it just wasn't what people wanted. You were just a rare occurrence there with your love for it. But here's his real question: PlayStation All Stars was a fantastic game. Another interesting take from Sweats here. Although I don't disagree. I think it's a great game, but I know I'm wrong in that area. A lot of people tell me I'm wrong. Who's your character? He said, I was always Jack. And then he also asked, or did you guys not play it? JJ, cough, cough. He kind of called JJ out there a little bit. He says, let me guess, though. So here's his guesses for everyone. JJ would have been Nathan Drake. G-Dog would be Raiden. And he says, Homeboy's tricky. I want to say Big Daddy from BioShock, but I know you are a man of culture, and my final answer is Heihachi Mishima, which I think is from Tekken, right?
Yeah, I'm such a man of culture that I love to throw people off of cliffs. That's what he's telling me right now. Yeah. No, I was actually more of a Parappa main. I used to play my boy.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
All right. If I can, I'd like to go ahead and cut in here real quick. Sweats, let me just throw something to you real quick. Oh, ye of little faith.
No way.
I actually did play this. I did play this game. No way. I'm telling you right now, I did play this game, and I didn't use Nathan Drake.
I call BS.
Nope, not BS.
You used Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth, Twisted Metal. Yep. Yeah, I did.
That's amazing.
So, mic drop. I'm not gonna actually drop my mic because it's expensive and I don't want to harm it. But seriously, why does everybody just assume that I didn't play it? Probably because like 85% of the time I say I've never played it. Okay, yeah, okay. So I could see how one could think that, but no.
Yeah.
Yes, I did play PlayStation All Stars.
Okay.
I mean, I still have it on my Vita. So
Wait a second. I love how both of you guys are like BS. They don't. Really?
I didn't say BS. I said
Okay, well, Garrett sure
I said
did.
it's
Garrett was
believable
busting
that
out
you didn't.
BS.
There is evidence to show that if you choose the answer that JJ didn't play it more than JJ did play it, you would more than likely be right.
Yeah,
You're usually right.
Yeah.
you're
No,
usually right.
it's accurate. Yeah.
And as far as me playing Raiden, you are pretty much nailed on the head. 100%. I was Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 2. The only other character I played once in a while was Kratos. I mean, at that point, it was the original one from the original God of Wars, not the cool new Kratos from the 2018 God of War. But
Old Kratos is cool too. Don't disrespect 1 through 3
no.
like that.
He was all right. He was fine. But yeah, mostly Raiden. That's
Okay, Adrian, what kind of witchcraft? How did you know it was Twisted Metal though? I gotta know.
Because you
Like,
have that
do I
chaotic
just come
vibe
across?
and Sweet
I
Tooth just
I
radiates
just come
it,
across
man.
like that.
Yeah.
I love
I
it.
know you were like, you looked at that flaming clown and you were like, yeah. that's
Dude,
the
because
one.
I
need it.
love Twisted Metal from when I was a little younger when the first PlayStation came
Sweet
out.
Tooth.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Sweats, for those. Well, one question and then the rant. Appreciate that. Just dragging on, yeah. This next question comes from Penguin90. If you could create a TV series from any video game, what would it be?
You know what? I'd like to see Jack and Daxter have a show because I really like Jack and Daxter a lot. And with the new one that just came out and stuff like that, there's a lot of character work that can be done in like I'd say a Netflix, 10 episode series kind of thing. I think that'd be a lot of fun. They've been doing some great animation at Netflix lately.
The new you mean Ratchet and Clank?
No. Jack and Daxter, the Jack
There's a
and
new
Daxter.
Jack and Daxter?
The most recent one.
No, he's saying that he would pick Jack
Yeah.
for his series.
I know, but you said based off the new Jack and Daxter.
Well,
and
the most recent
okay.
one, not Ratchet and Clank, dude. Oh, really?
I mean,
really?
Look, JJ, we all know what should have been at the PlayStation showcase. Should have been that.
There should have been a new Jack and Daxter.
There should have been a Naughty Dog paw. Then there should have been a black screen. Then there should have been Daxter to start the trailer off. But we didn't get it. So
the most recent Jack and Daxter game was really good. I'd like to see a new one come out. Yeah, you're totally right. That should be the thing they're doing because I know they're not going to go back to Nathan Drake or The Last of Us right now.
But let's take a break, Naughty Dog. Okay,
I mean,
we
they're
get it.
They're working on the remake of The Last of Us, right? They're remaking The Last of Us now, apparently the first one. So
I don't think they're doing
That's
it. I think they're
unnecessary.
contracting it out. But I'm saying, okay, Naughty Dog, we get it. You guys are flawed, serious adults. We get it. Now let's have some fun. Let's come back to what we, let's make a little. Let's have a little fun. Let's put some color in there. Something. Could you imagine how good a new Jack game would look based on how good Ratchet and Clank looks now? Forget about it.
Gosh.
Forget about it.
Man. Yeah, that would be insane. So good. Boy, I would love, and I think I've mentioned this on episodes prior, but some sort of God of War TV series that tells us what happened between the original and the new ones, like that transition. And I know there's like a graphic novel, like a comic series out there that I don't know how much of that story it tells, but like some sort of like whether it's a animated cartoon or what would be really cool is if it was almost like a hand drawn, like even anime almost style, something like that. Like I don't know, I think that'd be an awesome TV series, or even if it's live. No, live action would be weird. I wouldn't want live action. I want something animated, and that would be spectacular. I think get that story like, okay, what happened between the end of God of War 3 and God of War 2018? Like what's going on here? Like, well, who's his wife, like, you know, the wife that we never meet, that you know, that's like the whole story. The first one is we're taking her to the mountain, she's dead. Like, okay, well,
Right.
who was she? Like, what is this story? Who's who I'm trying, I got sidetracked.
I get what you're driving at. I get what you're driving at.
Yeah, who's Atreus? That'd be pretty sweet.
A little prequel type beat.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I don't think they need to do a full game on it. I think just a little like TV series would be perfect. Fill that gap a little bit.
I got two. And one we kind of got a sneak peek of because it was one of the trailers for it. But I want so badly for them to go forward with that animated Hades show. I don't know if you guys saw that animated trailer that they did. I think that would be spot on for for a series to come out of that.
That trailer was just beautiful. Perfect.
Yes.
Like if they had a whole series of that, oh man.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Even if you did like 10-minute shorts, you know, instead of full-on episodes, so that way you can keep the animation quality high. I would be down for that. That's one.
So good.
And then the other one, I would love to see an HBO version of a BioShock show. I think that would be really good.
That would be
Man,
great.
like live action, like
Man.
BioShock, just nitty gritty, dark, messed up, twisted. Oh shoot, that would be so good. That would be really good.
Yeah,
man, that's like, it just gave me the willies a little bit thinking about that. That's really good. I mean, PlayStation, what was it? What are they calling it? PlayStation, not studios, but PlayStation,
Studios?
whatever their new TV, like their like entertainment branches. I mean, they're doing Last of Us with HBO. They already have the relationship with HBO. Holy cow!
Right.
If they could get that, although like technically BioShock is not a, you know, PlayStation properties. That's the tricky thing of it. But
right. That's what I'm saying. Man. You go direct, like 2K would have to go directly with HBO to do that deal.
Yeah, dude, that'd be so legit.
Also, does nobody think it's weird that they started PlayStation Studios when Sony already has a movie studio in place? Isn't that kind of redundant?
Well,
but Sony has a movie studio?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with them having a game studios?
Yeah, but I think, that's, well, is it called PlayStation Studios? Is their gaming studios? They have another one that's movie
it's like
related.
PlayStation Film or PlayStation Movies or something like that.
But
I'm like, you already have Sony Pictures, so why are we starting a PlayStation branded studio when we have a decades old, well respected in the industry studio that probably has a lot more pull than a PlayStation Films?
That makes a lot of sense.
I think at least what pops in my head, I don't know how true this is, but my thought would be, well, the people that are on the team for the PlayStation Films or whatever they call it, I don't remember what they're called, PlayStation Productions, might just be a little closer to the video game industry, because I think the biggest issue we always see with video game related TV shows and movies is people just don't really super know the source material, and then it's just like a really like lame movie. Like, how many terrible video game movies and TV shows are out there? Like, a lot.
Monster Hunter.
So my thought is like, well, if this is actually an in-house PlayStation studio making these TV shows and movies, I guess our hope would be like, oh, they're a lot more tightly, you know, connected in the industry, and they already know the themes, they know the stories, they know these characters. So to make a TV show or movie about it, they could have a better chance of maybe hitting the mark. I don't know, of actually it being good, possibly. That's my thought. Instead of just a random Hollywood person being like, that looks cool. Yeah, I'll pick it. I'll do an Assassin's Creed.
I think my kid played Uncharted. You know who's popular right now? That Tom Holland kid. Get him. And you know who will get to play an old man? Mark Wahlberg. That's who we'll get.
That's one of those like that just doesn't make sense.
But you know, they're closer to the video game industry, Garrett. They're gonna know all the good decisions to make.
But they're not making that movie, are they? I thought that's actually Sony Pictures.
Yeah.
Nah, is it? I don't know. I don't think so. I thought that was Sony Pictures. I thought.
So when are we gonna get a Halo TV show or a Halo movie?
That's in production, good bud.
Yeah, it's been in production for about 15 years.
Who's putting that out right now?
I think isn't it Steven Spielberg's company?
Hmm.
Isn't it?
Maybe.
I think
Is
it
it a
has
live
something to do
action
with it.
movie? Is it a live action?
It's live
movie?
action. It's live action.
Oh.
But I think it's a TV show, so it's like hour episodes.
Sweet.
Let's see.
Give me
so,
some stuff like the Star Wars. What's that one on Disney? God, I just pulled an old guy thing. The
Which one?
Mandalorian. Give me some
yeah.
Halo like the Mandalorian.
That's the
Episodic
perfect
television,
blueprint.
man.
Yeah.
that'd be legit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the production companies working on Uncharted are Columbia Pictures, Atlas Entertainment, Arid Productions, and then PlayStation Productions is apparently connected to it.
Da-da-da. You still on the train? If this is their
We don't
maiden
know-
voyage,
It might be a good movie. You never know, or it might be trash, and they're not doing.
I mean, if
well
their
at the
choice
gate.
of Sully is anything to go on, man,
Their choice of Nathan Drake too is
that too,
Not
yeah.
ideal.
yeah.
Not
So
ideal.
I don't agree with either of those casting choices. Do I have high hopes for it?
Oh, absolutely.
No.
I don't want it to fail.
I want it to work. I want it to work very
No,
badly.
I
'cause
don't. I
love
don't want
the
it to
story.
fail. But I also have a brain, so
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens there. The next question here, though, let's move on. Sir Prince-a-Lot asks, what's the scariest movie you've ever watched? He goes on to say, when I was 10 or so, I stayed up and watched The Bone Collector with my dad. Scarred me for months. Story time. Do you guys have
Okay.
any fun stories?
Okay, so when I was really young, I stayed up and watched Hellraiser 2. Like I was hiding behind the couch watching while my cousin was watching Hellraiser 2, and so I watched some of Hellraiser 2. If you've never seen it, it is one of the goriest, like most disgusting films of all time. Scared me tremendously. Probably the scariest movie of all time, The Exorcist. And the reason for that is I come from a Judeo-Christian background, totally worry about exorcism and like demons and all that kind of stuff. And I felt like that could be real. So like that little girl scared the crap out of me with her throwing up split pea soup and everything. And then later on in life, I told the guys right before we talked over the questions, and I said, I'm not going to share this part. And they laughed at me, and they're like, no, you have to share that part.
You have to.
I wasn't going to, but a few years ago, the movie Insidious came out. And I'm going to be completely honest, love horror movies, love to be scared. I don't like to go on roller coasters, however, but I love scary movies. And I watched Insidious, and it scared me so badly that for quite a bit of time afterwards, 3 or 4 years, I have been afraid to be in rooms in the dark. I don't know why. It has completely jacked me up. I feel like the demon chick is watching me through windows sometimes and is in the room if I turn the light off. And I have had like genuine fear about it. And but I was so quick to go watch part 2 when it came out because I like the punishment.
You're a masochist.
Yeah, but honestly, that movie scared the crap out of me too. But probably scariest movie of all time, I'd say would have to be Exorcist. It stands up. It's from 1973, and it's still ridiculously scary.
Dang.
I think of the more recent stuff, I definitely probably would say the first Conjuring. I think we talked about that. The first Conjuring got me really good. I definitely stayed up a little bit after that one. That one got me. And Hereditary, not because of the jump scares, but just because of the overall eeriness of the whole thing. And just that unease that it leaves you with at the end is just like, ugh. I don't think I've ever had anything make me feel that I don't know, gross. If that's the right word at the end.
I'm gonna need you to tell me about Hereditary after we finish.
Oh, don't worry.
All right.
It's a heck of a story.
Yeah, for me, so I really enjoy horror movies, but I don't watch a lot of them because, well, my wife doesn't like them. And basically, that's the only time I get to watch a movie is if we're watching something together. So I haven't watched a good scary movie in a long time. But the one that probably scared me the most, and it wasn't so much watching the movie was scary. It was like, yeah, like JJ was saying, like the days and weeks and months and however long later, Saw really messed with me.
Oh, yeah.
One?
Well, I
One is a phenomenal movie.
One is phenomenal.
Like,
One is
very
phenomenal.
good.
So yeah, one got me, but really just all of them. I did this weird thing because I was like a dumb kid, and I like binged all of them in like 2 days.
I knew you were gonna say that.
They had them at the public the public library at like the city library when I was at going to college in Waukesha in Wisconsin there, and so I went to the library and came back, and I was going to a Christian Bible college, and I come back with all the Saw movies from the library.
Brother Garrett, we have questions.
And I like sat in my dorm room on my bed and just like watched through all of them in like just a couple days. And I tell you what, I have like this reoccurring nightmare. I still have it sometimes where like in the dream, I'm stuck on a property, like it's usually like a family member or something, but it's like it's always someplace like I know. It's never like in the movie or anything like that. It's always like this. It seems very like normal and comfortable, and then I walk outside and like, why is there a barbed wire fence around the property? Why are they? And there's like traps. And there's people chasing us and all this stuff. And yeah, instantly my dream turns into Saw. I have every once in a while. It freaks me the heck out. So that's probably what got me.
Do you want to play a game?
Yeah, 100%. And it's like watching the movie. Like I don't get scared by things like at least initially. Like there's no like jump scares, stuff like that. Like I'm like, oh okay, like I'll enjoy them. I really enjoy horror movies, and I don't necessarily get scared by them. But that movie weirdly had like just a long-term effect, probably because I watched 8 of them in 2 days, because there's so many of them. Yeah. And yeah, that really messed me up. And I have that nightmare every once in a while. I'll wake up in a cold sweat, like yelling. I'm sure you'll be like, "What's wrong?" I'm be like, "Well, in my dream,
you were in pieces.
You were in pieces, and Shep's tied to the ceiling, and she's like, "Okay, stop! Don't tell me this is messed up." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. This is where my brain goes because I'm messed up." Jeez. So, yeah, I'm messed up.
Well,
so with that,
we shouldn't have talked about this because I don't want to go to bed.
Right?
Yeah,
I don't want to go to bed now.
Well, that's fine. We don't have to go to bed because now it's time for the nerdy nudes.
It's time for the nerdy news.
There we go. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. This first news story comes to us from GameSpot.com. Alessandro Barbosa over there writes, Horizon Forbidden West free upgrade means you shouldn't buy the standard PS5 version. That's a pretty straightforward title, but that's not the story. The story isn't like which game you should buy. The story is what I'm about to read to you here. Last week, Sony officially opened up pre-orders for Horizon Forbidden West ahead of the game's release on PS4 and PS5 in February of next year. Curiously, it was bound to be the first exclusive from Sony without a PS4 to PS5 upgrade path, forcing you to purchase the $80 deluxe digital deluxe edition if you needed both. Sony has since reversed that decision, which has inadvertently made the PS5 version of the game a less sensible purchase, especially if you're buying digitally. Right now, the PS4 version of Horizon Forbidden West retails for $60, while the PS5 version is listed for $70. This isn't too surprising. All of Sony's exclusives outside of launch titles are also cross-gen, have followed this pattern, including Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut most recently. Unlike those, however, the PS4 to PS5 upgrade for the PS4 version is going to be free following Sony's announcement over the weekend, making the $10 premium for the base PS5 version a costly option for what it gets you. So it's kind of like a big word jumble there, but basically what's getting at is originally Sony was like, hey, if you buy the standard and special editions of Horizon Forbidden West, you would not be able to upgrade it to a PS5 version. If you bought on PS4, you're stuck with a PS4 version. You have to buy PS5 completely outright. Well, obviously, people were pissed about that. And so they reversed it over the weekend. And there was a little bit of, like, I think a couple times, it kept going back and forth. They kept flip-flopping a little bit. They eventually landed on, hey, okay, here's the deal. You'll get the free upgrade, but in the future, we're not doing this again, is basically what they said.
All right. That's
This
quite
is-
enough of that. You know what the real reason of this is?
Here we go.
Your boy, Big Jim Ryan. That's what's going on here. First, he decides to charge $70 for games. And then he decides, you know what? Because we know you'll do it, we're going to charge you $70. And if you have the old one, screw you. Buy it again. Am I right or am I wrong? You know why? Because we're PlayStation and you're going to do it.
And you know what? You're going to do it.
You're going to do it.
Yeah.
You
gotta
already
do it.
spent $500. You're going to buy the game. We got you. Right? Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. Yeah, I finally found the quote here. Jim Ryan goes on to say, last year we made a commitment to deliver free upgrades for our cross-gen launch titles, which
We
included
lied.
Horizon Forbidden West. While the pandemic's profound impact pushed her Forbidden West out of the launch window we initially envisioned, we will stand by our offer. Players who purchase Horizon Forbidden West on PS4 will be able to upgrade to the PS5 version for free. So, yeah, basically they promised that last year. Then they tried to pull this mess, and then people called him out, and he's like, okay, we're sorry. The reason we did that is because the pandemic was hard, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, yeah, it was hard, but you made a promise. Like, don't screw us on this.
And he's
Man.
like, everybody gets one. This will never happen again. What?
Yeah, and yeah, very
Don't
clear.
even-
Like,
Don't
this is
even
it.
look in my direction and say the words. Don't say anything that rhymes with smart delivery. It to Jim Ryan's face. Don't do it. It doesn't exist.
Oh man. I mean, what a crazy idea, giving upgrades for free. I mean, who would ever do that?
Right. As a thank you. Hey, you know what? You went out and you spent $500 on a console that you don't know is gonna sink or swim. But as a thank you, we want you to have the best experience. So you know what we'll do, since you already supported us and bought the game. We went ahead and made a better version of the game. So we want you to play that so you can see the fruits of your investment. You know who's not doing that? Big Jim Ryan.
Yeah. I could have swore that was one of the things that they were talking about doing in the beginning when they were creating this console generation.
They were talking about doing a lot of
Yeah.
things at the beginning of the generation, JJ.
Yeah.
And they've pretty much done a 180 on all of them.
Yeah. Xbox has been following through, and PlayStation's like, nah, we changed your mind. Nah,
I
actually,
remember
we
Generations
decided,
was
like,
a big thing. Generations was a big thing.
Yeah, that
Generations was a
too.
big
That
thing.
too. All these games were going to be PS5 exclusive, and then what happened?
Not.
Well, for Horizon Forbidden West is coming to PS4. God of War Ragnarok's coming to PS4.
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo's coming to PS4.
Spider-Man.
What was Spider-Man? 2
Miles
is
Morales.
Miles Morales.
or
came
Miles
to
Morales.
PS
I mean,
Yep.
came to PS4. Yeah, they've not followed through on anything. Like PlayStation's just like. I
They
don't
said
know
a
what
lot of
they're
things to
doing
get
out
you in the
there.
door, and then they took that rug and went, Wah!
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. Good thing I'm used to that at work, huh?
Oh, some heated work talk coming out.
No, it's messed up. I don't understand who this Jim Ryan fella thinks he is, but it makes me.
I can guarantee you this. As much as we hate him, the shareholders and the board members, they love him because he's making them money. They couldn't care less about. All they see is the consumer buying it. They could care less about what they're saying about Jim Ryan. He sucks, but he's making money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tons of money. Tons
So-
of it is rolling in it.
I'm going to tell you this is just one facet of what PlayStation is doing wrong right now. And there's a lot of things that we could talk about they're doing wrong. One is the generations thing. Hey, we're all about generations. We're going to make games that are specifically for PS5 that you can't play on the other consoles, but they're keeping the other consoles alive. PlayStation 4 kicked Xbox One's butt last generation. Just they decimated them really badly. I think that Xbox is doing such a phenomenal job, and it's been like slow incremental things they keep doing right over and over and over again that are going to carry them on. Right now, there are everybody's heard of the WWE, the World Wrestling Entertainment, the wrestling company, the biggest, the baddest, the home of WrestleMania and everything else. They have been producing way too much content, and it's not good. It's not good TV, and they script everything, so they don't have a whole lot of great TV anymore. Their ratings have dropped. There's another company that just started up 2 years ago. Right now, that company's on fire. They're doing everything right, and they're slowly really starting to build like some major momentum, picking up some like stars that are leaving WWE and WWE's comfort and contracts and global notoriety, because they're like, hey, I want to go work for that upstart kick-ass company that's
because they're doing stuff
right.
They're moving and shaking,
and they are all about pro wrestling, which is what we love, not sports entertainment. And it's the reason I bring up the wrestling thing is because it's very similar to what's happening with Xbox and PlayStation. PlayStation is this juggernaut. It's honestly a juggernaut, dude. Nobody thought that Xbox was ever going to be able to touch what PlayStation has been doing the last several years. But slowly, Xbox is really, honestly, doing some great stuff for gamers. And I and Garrett alike are both PlayStation guys. And I'll probably always have a PlayStation because I do love the games that are coming out on PlayStation, those exclusives that just have not previously ever been available on Xbox. But man, I'm starting to lean the direction of going, man, Xbox is the way to go. They're the gaming place to be, and with everything they're picking up, and I'm sorry to keep rolling on, but
no, you're good.
Everything they're picking up right now, it's like they're like this ball that is picking up steam, man. And pretty soon, they're just gonna crush PlayStation eventually because they're doing everything right now.
I mean, they did it during the 360 generation because again, PlayStation had their big head after the PS2 generation, like PS1, PS2. PlayStation had their big head, and so with PS3 generation, they lost it all. So basically, we're just seeing a repeat of that. Like,
is it like a roller coaster? Is it like a roller coaster where they're like, hey, we're up high right now, and then that's when they get stagnant and aren't challenging themselves and trying new things? Nintendo did the same thing. Nintendo in the 80s kicked it. The Nintendo Entertainment System, Sega was a joke. Sega was a complete joke, the Master System. Nobody was going to choose the Sega Master System over the Nintendo back in the 80s. And then, boom, out comes the Sega Genesis. And it was aimed at teenagers. And
they were
violent,
neck and neck.
There,
bloody,
that one right there, Sega Genesis.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it came down to one of the things that Sega Genesis did so well in that console era was the fact that they came in and they were like, how can we compete with Nintendo? We're going to undercut the Super Nintendo. And they were $149 versus $199. And that doesn't sound like a whole lot of money, but at the time
That's a game.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I know that like for my family, money was hard to come by. So we ended up getting a Sega Genesis, and I would play a Super Nintendo at my friend's house, and he would play the Sega at my house. Sega had all the cool fighting games, all the bloody stuff, all the cool stuff.
The sports.
And Super Nintendo was like for kids. And I love my Super Nintendo Classic that I've got now, but really that's the first time I've ever actually really gotten into playing any of that stuff.
Okay. No, I get where you're coming from. I definitely see it. It's always weird to me. It's almost like, do these companies not like watch what people are saying about them? You know how it seems like every generation, one of these two has always got a case of the big heads, and they just, like JJ was saying, they get stagnant and they think, well, we won the last one. We don't really have to do anything because everybody wanted our last one, so we'll just we'll do a half step and put it out. Who cares? Mm-hmm. They're gonna buy it. I feel like if that's me and I did that well on the next one, I wanna make that last one look like a joke with the new one. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So
get your ear to the ground. What was working really well,
right?
And what didn't? What sucked? What can we improve on?
Right.
Listen to your audience. And I feel like PlayStation isn't really doing that the same way that Xbox is. Xbox has their ear to the ground.
Xbox had no choice.
They're constantly trying to move. Well, no, they didn't, because they got their butts handed to them last generation.
They had no choice. Really they had to turn it around. But I don't want, after this is said and done, if Xbox comes to be the giant that it's looking like it's getting ready to be, or it's already a giant, but I'll say like the Titan that it looks like it's getting ready to be. Don't let up. Don't take your foot off the gas. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's really bizarre. Yeah, to watch it. It's just like, do you guys forget so quickly? Like that's what happens when you don't.
You sell
when
a
you
few
don't pay
consoles
attention.
and you think you got it locked up.
Yeah, you think you're good. You think you're, we don't need history. We don't need to look back. It's like, dude, just look back like 10, 15 years. Like, you got screwed. Like, don't do this again. Learn from your mistakes.
TV, connect, TV.
Yeah. Yeah, not so hard.
You know, the funny thing is, I'll be the first one to admit when the Xbox Series X was first showcasing some of the games that they were coming out with, I was making fun of them because I'm like, they don't look very good. You know, they're kind of cartoony. They're not like the incredible realism that you know the PS5 is showing. Like, this is not going to be competition. Like, why are they not? And it's not about the console. It's really not. It's about trying to put an Xbox in every home, which I think is the long game, and that's where they're kicking ass. That's where they're doing the thing right. Is they're like, let's make it to where this is the system that everybody plays games on. We're going to pick up all these studios that are making games.
It's a Trojan horse.
Absolutely. And I think they're doing a phenomenal job on it. So my hat, if I was wearing one, totally off to Xbox. Like, everything that Microsoft is doing is just, they're killing it.
Nailing it. And with all that to say, all that wonderful talk about, PlayStation there. Now it's time to talk about the PlayStation Showcase.
I still like PlayStation. I just don't, I'm not.
No, don't get me wrong. My criticism of PlayStation is not, it is not of the games.
Right. Yeah.
The games are phenomenal. PlayStation games are awesome.
It's the business practices. But this next story also from GameSpot. Gabe Gerd went over there, gives us a little PlayStation Showcase, the biggest announcements and games shown. So let's just start at the top of this list and go through these. And if you guys are stoked for it, say hey. If not, then I'll just keep reading.
I can tell you right now, that KOTOR, that almost broke me, man.
That's number one on the list here, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic Remake. The first game shown during the event was Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic Remake, developed in partnership with Aspyr and Lucasfilm Games, created specifically for PS5. The game trailer did not mention BioWare, making it unclear if the original studio will be involved with the project, which was initially only on the original Xbox. So what a crazy turn as well. The original one was only on as an Xbox only, exclusive, and now the remake's going to be potentially, as far as we know so far, a PS5 exclusive. It's kind of crazy. I'm sure it won't last long, but
no, it's definitely timed.
Like a timed exclusive, yeah.
You should have seen me. I was like, the wheels were turning, dude. I was like, Garrett, you and I live in California, so we might get might have another stimulus coming. I was like, if I use the stimulus, I technically didn't pay for it. The state paid for it for me, so Sony didn't get my dollar per se.
Right.
You know what? You can spend your stimulus however you'd like, Adrian. He's married.
No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just saying that's how like.
Yeah, I wish I worked for me. I wish I could say that to
my
Trudy.
core.
Yeah, if I said that to Trudy, she'd be like, yeah, no. It's technically not our money. It's the government's money, so I can buy a PS5, right? No, it's going
but that's how deeply that KOTOR announcement was just like,
right?
I felt 100%. It like right here. I was like, I'm not going to do it. Am I going to do it? I'm not going to do it.
Are PS5 starting to show up now in store? I mean, okay, so there's still, you can't get a hold of it.
Series S's are, though. I saw some Series S's at a store for the first time since they've announced them.
Sweet.
I've been seeing also like quite a few of the accounts I follow on Twitter. Series X is more and more often in stock online. Like I get tags like, hey, it's in stock on Amazon, on GameSpot, on Best Buy. So Xbox is killing it with upping their production. PlayStation, I don't think I've seen a single link in the last 3 months to buy PlayStation
Xbox
5.
is also Microsoft, though, so I'm sure they have a whole lot more suppliers and access to parts and contractors and stuff like that. So that would make sense why they are, have easier access to different parts.
Yeah. I'm stoked for this because I never played the original because I did not have an Xbox. I didn't get into Xbox until the 360 generation, and at that point, there were so many other awesome 360 games. I never played the old original Xbox, Knights of the Old Republic. So, dude, I'm stoked. Not only because I've only heard amazing things about the original, but that teaser, like, this
So
looks so
good.
beautiful. It looks so insane. I mean, all it is just a dude standing in a foggy, misty,
dude.
rainy room.
Pardon you, sir.
With
That's
with
one of the baddest Siths to ever exist.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
This Sith dude. He was.
That's right. You
so
put some
cool.
respect on Darth
You gotta get
Revan's
the
name.
vernacular
Mr.
correct, Garrett.
Mr. Sith dude.
Put some respect on Revan's name. All right.
Revan, is
put
that
some
his name?
stank
I
on
don't
it.
even know. I don't know his name. I never played it, but let me tell you, I was like,
Don't
I'm
worry.
such
You'll
a
hear about it in
massive
the
fan.
Discord.
I'm such a massive fan of Star Wars. I was like, I gotta play this game. I don't know when it's coming out. Like, there's no date or anything, but I definitely need PS5 for that game. That's for sure.
I mean, you could still play the original. It's on PC.
Yeah, I could, or I could just wait for the remake.
Okay. You don't know what you're missing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I have too many other games I got to play. Like, I got to finish the Metal Gear Solid series. I'm playing Kingdom Hearts on stream with you. Like, it's going to be 10 years.
Don't
before I
lie
can
on
play
stream
Knights
like
of the
that.
Republic.
Don't lie to these people like that. I'm not going to let you get away with that like that. These people pay money to watch us. You're not going to lie to them. Don't do that.
I mean, you said I had to. That last time we talked about it, you said, yeah, you have to. Now you said it. So I just got to keep pretending like it's going to happen. And
Plus, Eddie's looking forward to you playing it too.
Have you
my
started to
gosh.
stream Kingdom Hearts yet?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
no. The plan is after I finish playing through all the Metal Gear games on stream,
Yeah.
Eddie was saying now you got to, or someone was like, oh, you got to play through all the Kingdom Hearts games on stream. And Adrian's like, I'll Sherpa you through it. You know, I already own them all.
I'll be here. Timur Hussein.
There you go. He'll be my guide. So whether I like it or not, I'm playing some Kingdom Hearts eventually. It depends on how long it takes.
You gotta
me to
at
get
least
through
play
5
one.
Metal Gear games. But
If you play one and aren't even remotely interested in the rest, I'll let you slide.
okay, we'll see. The next game that was announced was Project Eve. A previously announced game looks like Nier had a baby with Bloodborne and Devil May Cry. Was shown
It
during the
actually looks
showcase.
sick.
Yeah.
With a
that looks
Japanese
sick.
language trailer showing off some flashy combat with the main character Eve and a floating drone-like companion. A slowdown mechanic when dodging attacks also resembles the Bayonetta games, and it looks to be fairly disturbing.
It looks to be fairly hard, is what I was thinking when watching
Yeah.
it.
Right? Yeah, I was like,
It did have that Bloodborne feel.
See, Ubisoft, this is how you combine all your different games into one game. I don't know if this is Platinum Games, but this is how you combine all those different play styles into one game and make it work. Take some notes.
you don't like their other game? What is that? Something
What is it?
XD?
Double X Cross or something like that? I can't even remember the name. It's so dumb.
So dumb. I honestly wasn't interested in this at all. I saw the trailer. I'm like, oh, that's neat, but I was just kind of like, I'd be fine never playing that game. I don't know. I'm glad it kind of tickled your guys' fancy a little bit. But
Oh, that and Forspoken? Are you kidding?
Forspoken looks amazing.
that's the next one here, Forspoken, the next big action adventure game from Luminous Productions and Square Enix. Forspoken's latest trailer began with an emotional, character-driven moment like something out of Life is Strange, before transitioning to a fantasy world through a magical portal. Vast plains with giant spiky structures shooting out of the ground are visible in the distance. The world is filled with dangerous enemies, including fire-breathing dragons, and you'll be able to soar into the air and control objects with your mind, as well as conjure melee spells out of thin air. The game is coming exclusively to PS5 in spring of 2022.
I gotta find a way to play it. I gotta find a way.
Adrian, come to
So-
Nebraska. We can go to the greatest zoo in the world, and you just come play it at my house, dude. Like, come on. I got a big air mattress. We'll just cuddle on it. Don't even trip.
Okay.
Plenty of. It's a king size. We don't even have to touch.
Little
You
spoon.
don't want-
I called it.
Yeah, okay. So, all right. I hear you. Trust me.
Okay.
I'm a hell of a spooner. I'm just saying.
Put your money where your mouth is.
I'm serious, dog. Like, you come out, and that's the first thing. We will shoot all kinds of content of you and me skipping through the zoo, the greatest zoo on earth. And the reason I bring that up is because I'm going to be taking my family to the zoo this coming Saturday. We're finally gonna go.
You got to take some pictures.
You better take some pictures, take some
to.
videos, post it on the social media, post it on
One of you
know
point
it's gonna
up to
happen.
the sign like this.
Oh,
Greatest zoo.
It's going to be all over Discord, on the different Facebook and social medias, Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, you know it.
Oh my gosh. The next thing
Beat that horse to death.
Beat that horse to death. Next one announced was Alan Wake Remastered. Remedy's cult favorite third-person adventure series Alan Wake is back, this time published by Epic Games. A pre-rendered trailer for the game's PlayStation debut was shown during the PlayStation Showcase, along with gameplay showing some impressive visual improvements compared to the 360 original. Alan Wake Remastered will be available on both PS4 and PS5 on October 5th.
I'm excited by this.
Okay.
I'm excited by this. I know I didn't care for what I heard about Alan Wake, but the little bit that I played on the Xbox is really cool, and I think it'd be kind of neat to play a remastered version of it.
But here's the thing, JJ. Alan Wake, yes, is a good game. It's a very good game. However, this is definitely like the lowest tier of effort you can do. Like, they just bumped it from 720 when it was on 360 to like 1080. Maybe 1440 right now, and then put it out because there's no like texture upgrade, didn't look like, no lighting upgrades or anything like that, didn't seem like anyway. But it could be one of those things that this is what I thought the 360 one looks like, and this is what they've done to it.
Yeah, maybe if you actually did a side by side, maybe it is a little more upgrade, but yeah.
But also, good on you. For going with Epic Games instead of who did they have before, 505? Because I did not forget Remedy. I did not forget that stunt you pulled with them with Control. How we were just hammering PlayStation about that, where you made everybody buy Control again when you did that Ultimate Edition. Yeah, I didn't forget about that.
Yeah, dirty tricks. Got to make that money somehow. Yeah, for me, I have no attachment to the original, and I've never done I never finished Control. For me, Control like just didn't hit. I played the first like 3-4 hours. I'm like,
Really
grabbing me. I don't know.
So,
I want to try it again because I've just heard so many people loved it.
I got stuck about the same spot. I probably got 4 or 5 hours in, and it just didn't do it for me. I don't know why.
It definitely requires a lot of like. It requires a lot of. Just. We'll explain it to you in time. Just keep playing. We know it's weird right now, but all the pieces will start falling into place. And that's kind of how Control works. Yeah, but when it does fall into place...
Wow.
Chef's kiss.
I still have it, so I mean, I can always go back to it, thankfully.
Yeah. I think it's on Game Pass.
It is.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it is. This next game is probably the biggest announcement of the show. This got everyone up on their feet, hyped out of their minds.
Ooh, baby, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, here it is. Grand Theft Auto 5 was shown off for PS5 with enhanced gameplay and seamless character switching that should be even quicker than previous versions of the game. Grand Theft Auto Online will be free for a limited time to PS Plus subscribers as well, with both arriving in March. It's one of the most successful games of all time on PS5, and it's going to sell like hotcakes once again. That was a complete sarcasm if you didn't pick it up in my voice there. We are all so sick and tired of Grand Theft Auto 5.
I saw a video of this guy. He made a video of himself. He was like he did 3 different cuts of himself. And it was him at a counter at a game store. And he goes, "Can I have the new Grand Theft Auto 5? Can I have the new Grand Theft Auto 5? Can I have the new Grand Theft Auto 5? And everyone behind him was the PS3 cover, then the PS4 cover, then the PS5 cover.
So good.
So I've never played it. I've never played it at all.
Garrett, that's why they keep releasing it.
Yeah.
For as many people as you think play it, there are still people 8 years later who have not played it yet.
My only experience with Grand Theft Auto was the early 2000s playing Grand Theft Auto
3,
Vice City,
the best one.
And I don't remember if it was the first Grand Theft Auto, but I remember Vice City was one of them that I ended up playing quite a bit. And I remember the graphics from now; they're not that great. Is, in your guys' opinion, because I'm sure both of you guys have played Grand Theft Auto, 5. Would you say that it's worth a playthrough when this new version comes out? I mean,
The
is
story,
it worth
absolutely.
What's that?
I said the story, absolutely.
Okay, because I've heard the story's really good, and I'm a big fan of
fantastic.
story. Yeah.
The performances, I think, are probably the best in the series by far. The online, I think you could take or leave. I don't know how much online gaming you play, but for the story alone, I definitely think it's worth the play.
Okay.
I remember my only experience with Grand Theft Auto 5 is playing online and going to the casinos. So I've never done the story. So
You should do it, man. It's a really good story.
okay, yeah, I got it for free somehow on Epic Games. Epic Games, when they launched the PC shop or whatever, they were giving it away for free. So I got it through there.
You can get that game for a song. Really?
Yeah, it's they were for a while they were giving it away for free everywhere. It's just like, oh, you want
You can find it for like $5, $7 on eBay.
It's crazy.
Just buy it there.
How much has this new version been upgraded compared to the old versions? Much at all, if any?
Spoiler alert, it hasn't. It just takes advantage of the SSD and loads faster.
It's just low because even on PC with my SSD, it takes for online. It takes about like 5 to 10 minutes. It feels like to load into the world. So maybe it'll be a slightly faster at like 4 minutes on the PS5. I don't know. It takes it's like Red Dead Redemption 2. Remember how long it took the first time you load into that on the PS4? Yeah, that's like what it's like. Even on my super fast SSD on my PC, it still took like that long.
To be fair, big world games load that they have to take that long to load. Witcher took that long to load too.
Yeah.
So
Red Dead 2 actually does load a whole lot faster. It's still a long time on the PS5, but it's a whole lot faster than what it was on the 4. And also, my PS5 is not blowing a motor like it's an airliner, like my PS4 was trying to run
a jet engine.
Oh, dude, it was horrible. It sounded like a 747. The entire time that game would be, in that mode where it's waiting and I'm like, oh no, this thing's gonna blow up. Like one time I had to tell the kids, get out of the room, go,
run, call 911. Jeez. All right, we talked about Grand Theft Auto too long. Ghostwire Tokyo. This is one that was
really looking good.
Originally talked about when the PS5 was first announced, right? It was one of the little teaser things they showed off with very little context. So Bethesda and Tango Gameworks showed off new footage of Ghostwire Tokyo during the event, including a look at a creepy Slenderman-like enemy and a masked mysterious target, talking about the critical work and truth that must be faced within the city. Though not a full-on survival horror game, it certainly seems like it will carry on the studio's creepy legacy while also offering action-packed first-person combat against lots of different demonic monsters. No release date was given, but the game is expected in 2022. It looks interesting. I feel like, the original trailers made it seem a little more like horror, a little like a little scarier than what this trailer made it look like. I'm like, oh no, it's just an action game with some like kind of creepy stuff to it.
I think that this game saw a revamp somewhere in development, because I remember when we had that Bethesda E3 and what is her name? Ikumi Nakamura came out.
Yes.
I think she was like the director of it at that time, and she showed the preview of it that time, and it was a lot more horror focused. It seemed like it was a lot scarier. And then something happened at the studio, and she ended up leaving.
Oh,
and
then Kenji Kimura is now the director.
Right. And then she ended up leaving, and then they went radio silent for a while, and then the next preview we saw was this. So it definitely has changed in tone. So I'm wondering if that's with the change in team leadership, which means it's a change in philosophy. So I think it has undergone a pivot.
Interesting. Yeah.
To more action than scary.
Seemed a lot creepier, a lot scarier. And then this one was very much like, oh, this is an action game with some kind of like creepy looking enemies and stuff like that. But,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see more. I don't know if, again, it didn't quite grab me like, hey, I need to play this, but I'm curious what their next trailer will look like. What's it going to look like when it's closer to launch? So
I'm not in a rush to play it, but I'll definitely play it.
Yeah. the next announcement, Uncharted, both Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, and Uncharted Lost Legacy are being remastered. And not just for PS5. Both games are also coming to PC. So you'll be able to play an upgraded version. Those are both PS4 games originally. So they're just getting kind of like the normal PS4 to PS5, probably 60 FPS, the 1440 or 4K graphics.
Shout out to Lost Legacy. What a good game that didn't get talked about as much as the other one. It deserved it.
So I never played it because I guess initially, like you said, no one ever talked about it. And what little I heard about it, people are like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. But
no way, dude. It's as good as 4.
Okay. I need to check that out because just the other day, actually, I was having a conversation with someone I think it was on Sunday. Someone was telling me about they love Lost Legacy. I'm like, really? Like they were like, it's probably their favorite one out of the whole series. Even they were like, yeah, it's one of my top.
I have it. I've never finished it,
Okay.
and I couldn't. I don't think it was that good. I think it was just basically 4,
Wow.
and it was just reskinned with the females.
What's that? Heard it here first. JJ hates women.
Yikes.
Whoa!
Yikes.
Whoa!
Hashtag cancel JJ.
Cancel.
Whoa, don't
Hashtag
do
cancel
that.
JJ.
I'm already on a thin line with that
Yeah,
stuff.
it's true.
Sorry,
we
man.
can't really
Sexual
joke.
harassment.
Yeah, we can't joke about that stuff too much because JJ's already walking the line a little.
He does say stuff that's like borderline,
Just kidding.
like quasi.
I mean, we got it on record right now. You hate chicks. So
Hate
Oh
chicks.
no!
Oh man. I saw Sweats pop up in the chat. I'm so late. Sup, boys?
what's going on, Sweats?
How's it going? We answered your question earlier. You're gonna appreciate that listening back later.
Yeah,
or not,
yeah.
or not.
But
it's
no,
cool.
I would.
It's cool that they're bringing it to PC too. So it's getting the PS5 upgrade and bringing it
Why
to
didn't
PC
they bring
just
the
like they did.
trilogy?
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting choice. Unless it's just whatever engine it was built on, because they were PS3 games originally. So
Yeah, but they ported it to 4, and 4 is PC architecture. So I don't get.
yeah, no, you are right.
The
You are right.
hesitance here. I mean, I would put money on the table that Last of Us 2 is coming next year. I guarantee it's coming to PC next year.
To PC. Well, I mean, yeah, with the way they've been going, they brought Horizon, they brought Death Stranding, they brought Uncharted now.
It's either going to be Last of Us 2 or God of War is
God of
coming
War.
to PC
Yeah.
next year.
100%. It's got to be one of those two because every year they've been bringing at least one. So I'm right there with you, Adrian. I think it's going to be one of those two. It has to be. That'd be crazy if it wasn't. I forgot Days Gone also came to PC. Okay, now this is the best part of the show. These last 4 announcements just tickled me in a way that I didn't know video games could tickle me.
I had no idea it was coming.
So this one here just rocked me. I was like, no freaking way.
Oh,
Marvel's Wolverine. Insomniac Games isn't done making Marvel games, and that extends beyond Spider-Man. A short teaser for Marvel Wolverine was shown, and it's coming to PS5. However, no gameplay was shown, nor did we get any indication of release window or even a release year. But Insomniac's track record is certainly strong, though. Dude, this trailer, or this teaser, that's all it was. It was a few seconds, but oh my gosh.
that game is not coming till 2025, and I could not wait for it.
So stoked, so excited. And I'm going to go a little bit out of order, but shockingly, two announcements later, all of a sudden, Insomniac's logo flashes back up on the screen. It's like, wait a second. Insomniac just announced they're working on Wolverine. They're working on another
punch,
game.
baby. 1-2 punch.
Marvel's Spider-Man 2 announced. Insomniac Games is certainly keeping itself busy as another Spider-Man game is already on the way. Miles and Peter are seen battling baddies together before Venom appears from the shadows. His fangs barely visible. However, you're going to have to wait quite a while to play the game as it's not going to be to release for PS5 until 2023. Given Insomniac's plethora of projects, that's not that unexpected. So Insomniac, what are they smoking over there that they can just work 24 hours a day?
Meth.
They did.
So what I understand is it's meth. I know you guys don't know about drugs, but check it out. I did a Google search and it's meth. They are smoking it, and some of them snort it. I've also heard they inject it.
I believe you. I
Okay, if you say so. If you
Right.
say
I
so.
knew a guy who used to do that stuff. And I've been accused of doing that stuff. They're like, you're too happy and energetic all the time. You got to be on meth.
I thought you were gonna say I knew a guy that used to work at Insomniac. He's all burnt out now.
Yeah. He's totally a coke whore.
Jeez.
I don't. No, that's a different kind of whore. I'm sorry.
But man, in the last few years, they put out Spider-Man Miles Morales, the new Ratchet and Clank. Now they're working on Wolverine and Spider-Man 2. Like, it's just nonstop over there. Like, when did
They're coming for the crown, man. They're looking at Naughty Dog and like, bro, what you got? We're doing banger after banger after banger. What you got?
To be completely frank here for a minute, and just from my heart to heart here, heart to heart for the three of us, I think Insomniac is, in my opinion, has beat Naughty Dog at this point.
I can't fight you on that one. The numbers prove it. The numbers look.
I know
numbers don't lie.
I know that's not a popular opinion because everyone loves, and I do too. I love Uncharted and I love The Last of Us and I love Naughty Dog's history, all their games in the past they've made. But look at Insomniac the last few years. They've just not missed.
Hit after hit after hit.
Okay. It's got to be said. You guys are wrong. You guys are completely wrong. You're both bat crap crazy. You're probably smoking meth like the other people over at Insomniac. I'm going to tell you guys right now. They do not beat Naughty Dog in gaming. Okay? It's just not, it's not fact. They are just reproduction skins of Batman games. They're just Arkham Knight with Spider-Man skins. You guys knock it off.
Not this argument again. We've had this argument before, JJ. Oh my gosh!
I know you're not speaking those fighting words to me over there. Third person walking simulator.
No,
that's all PlayStation makes.
Oh, don't do that.
That's all they do is play third person walking simulators. Horizon, Spider-Man, Uncharted. What do they all take place over the what?
Definitely a walking simulator. That's
over
true.
the what? Over the shoulder. What do you do? All the combat is from right here. You're looking at your character. You're looking at your character just like this every time. Over off to the corner.
Yes.
Go back and look.
Yes.
Am I lying?
No.
Okay.
You're totally right. You have a better looking head than most of the ones that I've seen though on the.
Yeah, honestly,
a lot of polygons.
I would love you to be a lot of polygons.
Yeah, you got like a nice dome, dude. Like it's like a nice shape. It's not like an odd shape. Garrett, when he shaves his head down to where your haircut, it's like very odd. It looks really weird. It looks really weird.
That's
you
why
can tell
I
he was
never cut my
natural
hair.
birth because it's like he's kind of cone headed. It's a little cone headed at the top. It's weird. It's odd. Sorry, Garrett. It needs to be said.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. This next announcement was Gran Turismo 7. You guys, I know, aren't excited about it. I have a very soft spot in my heart for Gran Turismo.
It looks great.
I grew up as a wee little child playing the original on PS1. I love it.
I'm a Ridge Racer man.
And so Gran Turismo 7, I'm like, heck yeah, I'm definitely picking that bad boy up, and I can't wait to
When do we get another Ridge Racer?
It's not happening. When's the last one we got? It's been like 15 years, right? Have we got one in the last decade?
Didn't we? Wasn't that on PS3?
I don't know. I haven't heard of it.
Keep talking.
Then the final. I don't have much more to say about Gran Turismo other than it's gorgeous, and everyone needs to go watch the trailer because it's just the soundtrack's always on point. Like just the classical music in there, and just these gorgeous cars. Honestly, these games belong in museums. Like it's just perfect. These are perfect.
According to
racing
Zech,
games.
not as good as Forza Horizon.
We're not doing this.
I don't remember. You remember when
We're
we
not
had
doing
that?
this.
When we had that conversation.
Nope.
And
JJ,
you had like
nope.
You had like a genuine conniption. You want to yell at me like Adrian just yelled at me a second ago? I'm sensitive right now, man. Not
like
cool.
I yelled at Zech that one time.
Oh yeah. You
Wait,
you
what?
literally flipped out. No, so Zech on the show when Zech was the host before Adrian came in, there was a moment where just to screw with Garrett. Well, I mean, he genuinely believes that Forza Horizon was a much better game that Gran Turismo is not.
He believes that
anywhere in the
Forza Motorsports is the better racing simulator, like more accurate, better.
And
racing
so
simulator.
they kind of were going head to head in that thing, and I was like, they were like, "What do you think, Jay?" And I'm like, "I think Forza is a whole lot better." I have no clue. I don't care, but I figured I wanted to like jump on the bandwagon of screwing with Garrett. And pretty soon Garrett was getting madder than hell. He took his headset off, and like it wasn't a bit. He was getting genuinely pissed off. And like I was
now,
like,
wait a minute. Garrett, was Zetch saying that Forza? He's saying that Gran Turismo is not better than Forza Horizon, or is he saying that it's not better than Forza Motorsport? Because he has much more of an argument with Motorsport than he does for Horizon. Horizon is an arcade racer. We'll count that.
But he said that Forza Motorsport is the more accurate racing simulator, in which my argument was like that's incorrect because it might be a pretty accurate one, but there are like literally documentaries that PlayStation has put out about Gran Turismo being used to train actual like racers for the actual racetracks. That's how accurate Gran Turismo is. Like you don't hear about them using Forza. They always use, you know, in the pro circuit, they use Gran Turismo to train racers for specific tracks because of the accuracy of how the cars handle and drive. We're not doing this again. We are really not going to do this. Let's talk about the last announcement.
I want
it's
you
God
to know,
of War Ragnarok.
When I saw you were pissed, I backed off. The moment I saw you were pissed off, I was like, okay, sensitive subject. He's mad. I'm going to back off right now.
They finally announced God of War Ragnarok. That is, in fact, the name. It's no longer a speculation. We've been calling it that for months, and I love how Cory Barlog's been like, what? I've never heard of it. And then finally, like, they announced it. He's like, oh, that's what you were talking about. That was, like, the best bit. Like, at the end when they were interviewing him and the new director. And he's just like, that's what you know what? This whole time I couldn't figure out what you guys were talking about. Now it makes sense. I love Cory Barlog. He's a perfect human being. But yeah, the sequel to one of the most acclaimed games of the last generation, God of War Ragnarok, was featured with new in-engine footage during the presentation. So they showed off actual gameplay. Atreus and Kratos argue over whether it's time for the boy to look for answers surrounding the pesky Loki himself. And we get a brief look at ice sledding as well as the returning boat from the previous game. There appear to be more non-player characters to meet, and Thor and his famous Mjolnir hammer will be making an appearance, as if there were any doubt. Awesome. And then one last little tidbit, which again, this was actually announced post showcase. So the showcase ended and they did like some little interviews with some of the devs. They were talking with the God of War Ragnarok director, who is not Cory Barlog. Cory will actually just be producing. The new director is Eric Williams. And he said, in kind of just like a random, just like offhand comment, he was talking about something else. But he just says, let's see. After all, in Norse mythology, Ragnarok is a major event that transpires and sees the death of many gods that belong to the pantheon come about. And his quote starts here. Yeah, I mean, you can't call the game God of War Ragnarok and not have Ragnarok happen in the game, Williams said of the decision to make this the final entry of the land. So it's going to happen. We're going to cap off the Norse series with it. And then in the context of it, he literally just like carried on and kept talking. And in my mind, I'm like, wait, what? Like,
he knew what he did. He knew what he did.
Because obviously, like, everyone's assumption is like, oh, they did God of War 1, 2, and 3, so they're going to do God of War 1, 2, and 3 again. And then for him to be like, no, this will be it. Like, we're ending it. At least, I mean, for now, we'll see what happens. But I thought that was crazy. I mean, I think it's great. Like, hey, quit while you're ahead. You know, you can tell a killer story in 2. Tell it in 2. There's no sense in dragging it out and ruining it, you know,
right?
taking too long to get through this story. But yeah, interesting little tidbit there. But yeah, dude, the gameplay looks amazing. The enemies look so cool. The new like biomes, like the different maps and areas they're fighting in. I love like, because the other one was like, I mean, there was a little variety, but there's also like a lot of just like snow and rocks and stuff like that. This one is like very lush, bright greens and flowers and vivid colors and blues, like water, and it's just all these like fun looking like areas you get to play in. I'm really excited about.
The models look better than ever. I mean, like you were just saying, the foliage, the structures, everything. It looks even better than the first one, which is a high bar to clear, but they did it even still. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to checking that one out. I've been telling all my friends that do have PS5s. I said, you better get your couch ready because I'm coming over to stay a few nights. So JJ, that's JJ included.
Yeah,
but I'm basically going to be on tour.
Little spoon. I'm just saying. I got you, buddy. I get really hot at night, though. I just want you to know. Like,
me too. Okay, this might not. We might need to open a window or something.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, and that was it for the showcase. Like I said, those last four just bangers. I mean, there's some cool stuff at the top. Don't get me wrong, but for the first little bit, I'm like, okay, this is a fine showcase. This is fine. Like, there's some neat stuff. Like, not obviously, Star Wars was like, okay, that's a way to start it off. That's interesting. It seemed to like kind of slow down a little bit, and then yeah, that last like 15 minutes when they showed off Wolverine, Gran Turismo, Spider-Man, God of War. It's like, heck yeah, PlayStation nailed it. Like, it was so good. It again, like I've been saying it for a long time. I want a PS5, but I don't feel like I need one. Now seeing these games, I'm like, okay, I think I need one soon. Again, I mean, obviously a lot of these games aren't coming out till like next year, or
2
even
3
later.
years from now.
Yeah, 2022, 2023. So I still have time, but now I'm like, okay, like I need to start saving because next year I need to get one because there's some killer stuff that is
Well, hopefully by the
on
time
PS5.
that all these are starting to drop, the system will be pretty much readily available. We would hope anyway.
Boy, I would hope so. Yeah, exactly. Cool. This last news story isn't really much of a news story. I just thought it'd make for a fun little discussion topic. Hideo Kojima wants to make games that change in real time. This comes from VGC. Tom Ivan writes, in an interview with Japanese publication Anan, or Anan, I don't know how to, Anan, the
Close
Metal Gear
enough.
Solid, the Metal Gear Solid and Death Stranding creator was asked how he'd like to evolve his games in the future. Referencing 2003 Game Boy Advance title Boktai, The Sun is in Your Hand, which featured a light sensor in the cartridge that encouraged playing in direct sunlight. Kojima said he wants to make games that offer each user a different experience based on various factors such as their location. What I want to do is make games that change in real time, he said. People of all ages and professions are playing the same game, but everyone is playing the same way. Instead, it's something that changes depending on where you live and how you feel about it. I made a game called Boktai, The Sun is in Your Hand before. It's a portable Game Boy Advance with a sun sensor and a clock. The amount of light from the sun is reflected in the game to defeat vampires, so the game changes depending on where and when you play. This kind of device connects the system created by people to the real world. That's all there is really to the story, but that just got me thinking, like, oh, like that would be really cool, like a physical sensor of some sort, or now we have the internet, like some sort of tie to your environment. What's a feature that you guys would be interested in, or that you would find most interesting, like a real world kind of effect there? Yeah, what's something you guys would like to see in a game?
It's going to unfortunately kill the game for any kind of future replayability, but I would love if it was able to look up the weather data in your region wherever you're playing and base the conditions in the world off of that. So, if it's super hot, maybe it's harder to find, replenishing items or something like that. If it's raining, the terrain is slicker, maybe different monsters or different whatever enemies come out that you can only catch when, in that climate. When it's snowing, it's tougher to move around the terrain. There's a chance of frostbite. I think that would be something cool to implement.
That was actually exactly my thought. Is like if the type of game was, say, like a Stardew Valley like type game where it's actually is like a farming sim, and imagine okay, I live in a really hot area, like, well, you can't grow these crops, but you can try to grow these ones. And so it's in having an online aspect where, like, okay, in order to get those things, then you're gonna have to trade with real people in the world, then, like, through the internet.
You're gonna
like,
have to go to different places.
Yeah, exactly. Like, travel in either they'll physically travel there, or if like have a thing where if your friend lives in another area, you can visit their farm or whatever,
or trade
goods and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would just trade goods, because if you're trying to do the immersion factor, then you have to actually go to that place and experience that climate, so it puts you in the mindset of wherever you're at.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. dude. But yeah, so that was my thought. It's like a Stardew Valley that has that aspect that you were explaining with the weather, where it's like, hey, you can only farm these crops, and maybe there's certain characters depending on certain areas. Like, okay, we live in California. There's like the surfer dude that you meet, and you're up in Wisconsin, you get like the Upper Peninsula, a guy from Michigan.
Right. All I could grow is corn, and then like a bunch of tornadoes are all over the place.
Right,
yeah,
but
exactly.
see, you can send us corn, but we can send you like avocados and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
That's how this works.
I'd love an avocado right now.
But yeah, so I think it'd be super sick. My only other idea I had was, and again, this would require an extra peripheral, but I mean, Kojima's not afraid of that, obviously, because his original cartridge in Boktai had that extra peripheral. But if there was some sort of like a heart rate monitor you could wear, and the game would like a horror game or something that would change things depending on your tension, or like even like a which, I mean, games already do this, like Phasmophobia, like with a microphone. So like having like a microphone and like a heart rate monitor, and so it changes stuff in game, like if it attracts certain whatever, like creatures or whatever's in the game and stuff like that. Something like that would be really cool. Like imagine with a heart rate monitor on your chest or like on your finger or something while you're playing. It's just keeping track of that, and like the creature can like sense your fear, it comes after you. Oh man, that'd be insane.
The creature would be like, I think you have diabetes. You probably need to stop eating so much fat in your diet or something.
See, that's what I'm worried about for me or for you, JJ. I'm like, okay, if I put this heartbeat, sensor on, ours is probably a little faster than everybody else's. Do we start off with a disadvantage here? What's going on now? Is there a scale that we can adjust it to? To have
I've been trying to adjust a scale for a long time, Adrian.
No.
Okay, different scale.
I think it would take a baseline. It would have to take a baseline. Like it would take and be like, okay, this is your normal. So then if it goes anything above that, then it would.
Right.
Because if it's just like, oh wow, like you have high blood pressure.
Oh my god, this guy is terrified.
Why are you just constantly scared? Oh my gosh. Cool. Well, that's it for the. Oh, JD, did you have any ideas for a game? Real life application. Okay, yeah.
I do.
That's right. All right.
Before we get off of this, I just want to real quick just shout out to Boktai. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it or played it, but I got that game, and that sun sensor used to be a blessing and a curse. I remember I have vivid memories of playing that game in my grandma's house at night, and just thinking, man, I gotta get some sun somehow. So I remember taking a chair and going in the middle of her kitchen, because she had a ceiling fan with the little lamp on the light bulb on the bottom.
Yeah.
And I would stand on the chair. And I would take my Game Boy and I would put it as close to the light as I possibly could. So it would get hot enough to think, oh, this must be solar energy. And I would just let it sit there for like 5 minutes, and it would give me a little bit of sun, just because I wanted to keep going that bad.
That was your grandma's house?
Yes.
And your grandma, like, if she'd have come in, she'd have been like thinking you were trying to kill yourself.
What are you doing?
She's like, he gonna try to kill himself on the ceiling fan.
It's like, no, Grandma, you don't understand. I'm trying to collect sunlight to kill vampires.
That is so awesome. I love it.
Shout out to Kojima. Thank you for that one. Thank you for Boktai. That was a precious memory that I'm always going to remember doing.
You notice that Adrian didn't share that he was 22 years old when he was doing that at his grandmother's house. What?
Next segment.
Next. Oh man. Well, that's it for the nerdy news, and we.
Woo! So it's time for indie boys. Woo! Super indie boys. Let's get it. Yeah.
All right.
No.
None. Nothing.
What's going on, man?
We're breaking up. You're breaking up. I'm losing you. Adrian, that's where we're losing you. I don't know.
Oh, no. This happens every time. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Every time.
All right. Well, I guess we'll just move on with the ad then.
Hey, he's back.
Hey, there he is. Yeah, we've already started the ad, so.
Oh, my God. That time skip. Did you guys feel that?
The time skip. I love it.
Oh,
there was a jump in
like
time.
10 seconds in the future. It's crazy.
Look, man, all of a sudden, you guys, you didn't see that? There was this guy, his name was Doc Brown. He was over there in the corner. He said, You got to come with me. Look, JJ has done something at the zoo, and we got to go back and fix it. So that's
Yes. We gotta go forward in time and stop him from doing it.
Yeah, and that's exactly like you should have seen it. The whole room was shaking. It was like God. Lightning bolts everywhere.
We gotta stop JJ from going to the zoo. The world's gonna end if he goes to the zoo. Oh man! All right, well let's get into the Patreon ad. This is the part of the show where I tell all of you guys and gals about our Patreon. Patreon.com/SuperGamerBoys, where you can support us starting at just $1 a month. $1 a month. That's like, what, 100 pennies? If you pay us 100 pennies a month, you can
find that in the couch.
Thinking about that. You get our episodes early and ad-free. So this current episode, if you're not watching it recorded live on Twitch, you have to wait till Wednesday to get it, where technically right after we finish stream, I'm going to do a quick edit, pop that bad boy on the Patreon feed, and you could listen to it this evening, Monday evening. So support over there, just $1 a month. You get that. You get early access to our Super Gamer Book Club, hosted by Adrian. Like I said, this month's episode was with Nate Fletcher, all about Hades. That was a fun one. And you get access to all the archived episodes of Season 1 hosted by Zetch. Fantastic run of the show there, Season 1, and then obviously the other unreleased ones from Adrian here. Unless you want to wait 2 months like bangers. A sucker. So let's see here. $5 a month, you get the show notes early. So I forgot to even read it. Kajoma's here right now. I'll read it later because right now it's ads, so not everyone will hear it. Kajoma, I'm so sorry. He's in the Twitch chat. I totally forgot to read your note.
Kajoma's here?
If you support us $5 a month, you can see the show notes and you leave comments on there I'm supposed to read during the show, but I didn't read it because I'm a bad host.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, you get show notes. $10 a month, you get the shot on the show as a sponsor, and $15 a month, you are our boss. You can be our Patreon producer, or you can pitch a segment for the show. That's originally where Indie Boys came from. Super Indie Boys, pitched by why do I do that? Adrian. I always call him JJ. I don't know why.
It's a force of habit now.
Yeah, and $20 you can like be on Garrett's OnlyFans, and you can be the first to get some of that sweet NSFW content.
Sure. Yeah, so very much appreciate all the support over at Patreon. Remember, also, if we hit that $100 a month mark, then we are going to do a new show, a third podcast for you all to listen to, an episode a month where super later boys, we talk about all the crazy happenings in our life, good, bad,
all of it.
Ugly, unfiltered, after dark, all the fun stuff.
And there's a lot of stuff that we are holding back on. When I say we, I mean me. So
mostly just JJ,
I've got like filters on me at all times on this show.
Boy, do we have to lock you down. If people could see like the chains and ropes we got to tie you up with just to make you sit down in a chair.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Okay. I'm telling you right now.
See, look, there it is.
Super
it's
later, boys.
Right now.
Oh my gosh.
We're at the end, JJ. Just hold on a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer.
Hold on. You can also subscribe on Twitch. Remember, as I mentioned at the top of the show, it is September, so you get discounts on subscriptions. We're trying to hit 50 new subs this month. We're up to, what did I say, 11? So come subscribe. It's discounted this month. And then also, if you have Twitch Prime, that means you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, which means you could subscribe for free. Doesn't cost you anything, and we still get full money from Amazon, because Amazon loves giving away money, and we love taking it.
We sure do.
Check us out, twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys. I've been doing a full playthrough of the Metal Gear Solid series. I'm about 2/3 of the way through the first one. I probably would have finished it the other night, but my second disc does not work, apparently. It works. When I pop it in by itself, it fires up. But when I get to the screen where it says, put in disc 2, I put it in, black screen for about 20 minutes. It's nothing. Nothing happens. So I ordered a new disc 2. As soon as that comes in, I'll be back with Metal Gear Solid. Really bummed about that.
What are you going to play in the meantime, Garrett?
So
what are you going to play in the meantime, Garrett?
Streaming tomorrow, and I'm going to stream WarioWare.
Okay, I'll accept that.
I will, as long as my Switch dock is working correctly. Because remember when you hear Adrian, it was acting a little funny. So hopefully
everything was breaking.
Everything was breaking. So hopefully I can bring my Switch up on the computer and play some of that. But yeah, check us out. JJ might even stream something.
Yeah. So as of right now, I'm going to be on there streaming on Twitch, on our Twitch channel, The Super Gamer Boys, and I'm going to be playing Visage, which is a horror game that looks phenomenal. So if you want to come watch me scream like a little girl, come on down. I'll be doing that on Thursday night.
Nice.
Boy, Wario saved you, Garrett, because we were getting ready to get started early. You knew exactly what I was talking about, too.
100%. I'm like, what am I going to play? What am I going to play? What am I going to play? WarioWare.
He picked that out of thin air.
Thin air. He was not thinking about WarioWare at all.
All right. That's it for our ad. Let's get back to the show. Alrighty, guys. It's time for your favorite segment, What You Playing? JJ, hit us. What have you been playing?
I've been playing more Ninja Gaiden, and dude, I'm actually getting pretty far. I'm doing pretty good with that. And I'll tell you what, I am a late blossomer when it comes to the Switch. I'm loving the Switch Lite. I am finding that it fits so perfectly in my hand. Yes. He's looking at me like I want to hear you preach
You're preaching
about
the
it.
good word of the Switch Lite, my brother.
I'm telling you, it is so awesome. And for a couple $100, like I'm gonna have to pick myself up one of the Switch Lites. I've been taking my daughters, and dude, I'm really enjoying the heck out of it. And
just wait a month and get the OLED.
No.
Because it's huge and it doesn't feel like a Game Boy.
No, see, I like
there's nothing.
I like everything about. See, it's too much, man.
You play that for a half an hour, and we'll see how your hands feel.
Batteries are dead.
I lay in my bed and play it above my face, and I've only dropped on my face like a handful of times. You know.
Okay, I have
That's where that bruise on your nose came from.
I have horrible circulation, and like my hands would be dead within a couple of minutes of hanging upside down like that. So no, no, I can't wait to get my own Switch Lite because I've been playing a lot of old Nintendo on there and Super Nintendo. So I'm loving it, man. That it doesn't feel so good.
I've never held one. I need to check one out. I need to go somewhere where I can hold one.
I've said it multiple times. The Switch Lite is the ultimate. It's the Game Boy perfected. When they were conceiving this system in 1987, and they were like, man, could you imagine what we can make this system be able to do? And this is like coming from way back then. I feel like this is what they were thinking about. This is the end product.
Dang. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to check it out. One day I'll check it out. But in the meantime, I got my eyes on that OLED because...
Oh, me too, brother. Me too.
It's good.
But it still won't feel as good as a Lite. There's no way.
I'm sure it won't. I just need to fix something because I already forgot from the time we were doing our ad to now. I forgot about Kojima's comments again for the second time today in the show. So back during the PlayStation Showcase, I was supposed to read this. I apologize, Kojima. He said,
look,
super
Kojima
excited.
has recently stomped all over my favorite Supergiant game. He stomped all over my heart. So
did he really?
Yes. He said I remember he verbatim, I think I saw it in the Discord. He said Transistor was trash. He said it was the worst game he'd ever played in his life. He said Supergiant games are a bunch of hacks. I heard him say it. Yes, that's right. He said, how do you expect me to play Hades when I'm walking through this trash heap right now? I heard him say it.
Oh my gosh. Oof.
You guys got to remember that Kojima's young. He's really young, and I think that sometimes
he doesn't know any better.
He says things that he just doesn't know any better.
He doesn't understand the repercussions of his actions. He's just a kid. So, man, you know what? That's something to save for the Discord. We'll have a one-on-one discussion with them. This isn't something we need to air publicly to everyone. How dare you? But
yeah. You know what? For repentance, you change your name to Super Joma. How about that?
Super Joma.
Super Joma.
Oh. See, he's getting taken out of the woodshed.
No, instead of a J, you got to use a G. So it looks like Super Giant. That's your name now, Super Joma.
Super
until
Goma.
until further, until further notice.
Super Goma. He's in the chat. He's not happy. He says, he said, I apologize. False lies, not true. I just didn't think it was the best.
Don't make me go pull up the transcripts.
Transcripts.
Oh
Yeah.
man. But he said back on the PlayStation showcase, the note that I accidentally forgot to read. Super excited for Knights of the Old Republic Remastered. Hope they change up the gameplay a lot. Also looking forward to playing through Uncharted on PC. Tiny Tina's Wonderland also looks cool, which that wasn't even listed on that GameSpot article. I totally forgot about Tiny Tina's
Everybody
Wonderland.
did. As soon as the trailer was over, they were like, "Oh yeah, okay."
Honestly,
the next thing.
Yeah, honestly, I could care less about that game.
Yeah,
Whatever. It's not Borderlands. Like,
I mean, it technically is. It's
sorry, Kojima. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I'm not super stoked, and I totally forgot that was even showed there, which is sad because it is Gearbox, right?
Yeah.
It's like so bizarre that this actual
I think they
Gearbox
just run out of stuff to
game,
do,
and no one's talking about it. Like you haven't seen anything anywhere. So, all right, back to what you're playing, Adrian. Your turn.
Like I mentioned before, since I'm going on the video games podcast coming up, I've been trying to get through as much of Phantom Hourglass as I can as a nice refresher, so I can go into it and not stumble my way through. So that's what I am playing right now. I'm a good ways through it. Not a good ways, maybe like a third, but I'm gonna barrel through it tonight, most of tomorrow, see how far I can get, and yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Nice. I played through Little Nightmares, playing through Little Nightmares 2, about halfway through, if I remember correctly. But boy, what I have been really enjoying, and this is not a lie, I have been playing WarioWare Get It Together.
So good.
And
so freaking good.
Immediately, like, just the good feelings flooded back into my body from when I played the Game Boy Advance. What is it? WarioWare Inc.
Welcome back, brother.
That's the only one I'd ever played, and that's the one I loved, and it's been in the back of my mind for years and years and years. I never thought I'd ever play another WarioWare game because, I always just seemed to miss it. Any console I ever had just wasn't the right one, or I didn't have it at the right time. And so when this got announced, I was like, I have to get it. And let me tell you, I played so much of it this weekend, and it's just what every WarioWare game is, but the mini games are so fun. The story is fun. The little like everything about it, so awesome. So
fantastic.
I haven't tried the multiplayer aspect to it. I want to try the 2-player aspect.
You should do it with Shep.
So I just don't know because it's so quick. Like, he's only 3. My son is, I mean, he's turning 4 soon, but that's a lot to ask of like a 3-year-old to be like, okay, you have 5 seconds, do this thing now. Like, it takes him 5 seconds. It takes him like 30 seconds to jump over a warp pipe, in Mario, and just like New Super Mario Brothers. So yeah, I was like, I think Trudy would really enjoy it. Like, she likes some of those fun little party games. So I think she'd be totally into it if I.
You should play it with Trudy tomorrow.
Maybe. Although she is not interested at all in being on stream. There's been a couple times I mentioned that. She's like, nope, I'm good.
That's a perfect couple game, though.
It really would be so much fun. Yeah. So, Adrian, I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna be like, hey, Adrian said you should stream because this game was.
You gotta lay it on thick, man. You gotta butter her up.
Yeah, I'm not good at that. I'm not a romantic. I'm sorry.
Or tell her that you playing will cure cancer.
All right, that's too much butter. Scrape it off. Scrape it off.
No.
Okay.
Tell her it's butt cancer, and that it'll cure all manner of butt cancer.
Scrape it off. Scrape the butter off.
No, don't scrape it off the butt.
Okay.
That might hurt.
All righty, guys. That's the end of the show. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate each and every one of you for watching here on Twitch, watching later on YouTube, listening later on podcast services. Remember, a little shout out. You can find our other podcast on the Super Gamer Book Club. It is available on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/supergamerboys, and on all podcast services. Just search for Super Gamer Book Club. It'll pop up there. So it is a separate feed. We're not doing it in the same feed because it's different. We didn't want to mix up and confuse people with the feeds. So it's a separate one. Go check that out. Remember, you can support us at patreon.com/supergamerboys. Just $1 a month. You can get episodes early and ad-free. We have some merch. We have t-shirts, stickers, mugs over at sgbstore.com. Go check that out. You can get some fun little merch with our logos and faces on it. Remember, rate and review us if you can on your podcast services. Follow us on Twitch. Give us the thumbs up on YouTube. Subscribe so you know when new episodes go live. And during the week, you can find us at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys, facebook.com/supergamerboys. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can they find you at?
They can find me any and everywhere at Homeboy.
And JJ, where can they find you at?
Guys, you can find me all the time, always on Twitter and Instagram at JJ Purdom, because I'm there constantly.
Yeah, of course
Okay.
you are.
Hey, I checked it this week. Shut up.
Okay.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
You checked that box. You checked that not safe for work box.
Yeah.
It's true.
And
true.
speaking of Discord, supergamerboys.com/Discord, you can join that. It's totally free, and that's where we hang out during the week and talk with all you guys. We talk about what we're playing, we tell jokes, we make fun of each other, talk about cool new movies we're watching. Go check it out. It's a lot of fun. That's all I got.
All right. Well, this has been fun this week, guys. Thanks for joining us here on Twitch and all the different podcast apps that you are listening to us in. And we hope to see you guys here next time. For Garrett Morlang, what was your nickname again? Generic Garrett Morlang, Goofy Garrett Morlang.
Generic.
Something like that. And then adorable Adrian Homeboy Holmes and myself, JJ Purdom. We are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we will catch you on the flippity flop.